in the entire
Salut
event.
și bine v-am găsit la betul pe care l-am pus azi. Acesta este un video mai special pe care l-am făcut, aparent nu știu când începe. Chiar acum începe semifinale, chestii aici. Da, v-am anunțat de el la 5, cred. Da, cred că la 5 v-am anunțat de bet. Mă rog, am emoții, vedem acum ce se întâmplă.
Winning 16-7 there. So let's have a look at the rosters and go through them in good detail. Carnite, here's Space Soldiers. You can see the stats provided by our lovely Palmer in csgo.com. Why don't you chat to us a little bit about what we can expect from these players?
Yeah, well, basically, Despa,
Yep, merge. Nu, ce-am făcut? Nope. Cred că am stricat toată filmarea.
sort of lift his own weight.
Ok, o să-l lăsăm așa.
He does have some quiet times, particularly on the T side, but when he's on the CT side, you can always count on him to hold wherever he's put. He's a great player when he's feeling on form. Tugux, this is the most experienced man. Very, very
și am văzut că pe videouri mi se aude vocea cam încet, așa că o să vorbesc mai tare și să-mi dau microfonul mai aproape de gură.
He's playing CSGO now, and to be fully honest with you, he's probably still.
Sper că o să se audă ok, nu știu.
Again, he has times where he's not the main person who's in the limelight, simply because Zantares is such a phenomenal player. But again, if you can count on Tugux to clutch around and put a shift in, he will do it. Next up, this is the star man, Zantares, a phenomenal player, amazing headshot ratio, and he single-handedly just devoured gamers too. It was really beautiful to watch.
Deci că nu începe meciul odată.
Who we really need to look out for Space Soldiers. This is sort of like the Kenny S of Space Soldiers. This is the Olaf Meister of Space Soldiers, if that makes sense. And next up, a man who's really impressed me throughout this entire event as well for Space Soldiers. In my opinion, the number 2 best player in this team behind Zantares, the best fragger rather, E1. You know, just when it seems like they're down and out, he will literally just appear out of nowhere, flanking the team from behind, and get some sort of amazing 3-man spray down. As well, another thing, watch out for Tugux, and he's lurking.
Yeah.
He always gets himself in amazing situations lurking, doing his opponents from behind, always distracting opponents on the other side of the map as well. Like, for example,
ok, ar trebui să înceapă, dar nu începe.
Whilst his teammates are getting ready to execute mid to B or go towards B through the tunnels, he's on short, holding off the CTs, getting kills, getting them whilst they rotate, and making sure he makes not just his team's life easier, but his own life easier as well by holding the CTs on that bomb site. So overall, a great team, outstanding so far this tournament, and you know what? I actually think they're going to win this 2-0.
I think they stand a very good chance of doing so.
Blue Lemonade, tested, nu știu ce
crazy deficit, as I said, you know, losing that
minimal
first
wear.
match against Encore.
Griffin minimal
But
wear.
you can't allow those kind of maps to happen in a grand final of a tournament, and especially not against Space Soldiers, who have arguably been the strongest team that we've seen so far this weekend, I'd have to say. Nerdrage cannot allow that to happen. So
Kenny
maybe
S.
they weren't. They looked in good form in the last
fuck,
so let's
man.
take a quick look at that roster. The second preview of our finalist team now. Carnite, you've been talking about this story with Billy G and Joels all weekend. I think you should explain it just one more time for those viewers who may be joining us for this grand final.
Yeah, Billy G and Joel's basically, we contacted them and were like, yo guys, you know, send us some sexy pictures of you to make you look cool.
Pare un copil de aici, deci din poza asta pare un copil.
Basically, why? We don't need any pictures. Fragbite Masters didn't need any pictures of us.
Aparent, un AVP Safari Mesh, Battle Scar, dacă e full negru, valorează o grămadă. Deci o grămadă.
And yeah, that pretty much sums up
why full blue, full black,
yeah, and then obviously Cadian was on the roster during the group stages,
un redline field tested, elite build field tested,
some of these teams have got stand-ins and some players who may not be able to play all the time. So Cadian came in and managed to help
și nu mai începe odată.
Group stages, and he now has been replaced by Flashy, who really actually impressed in that last series. Some of the skills that he was getting to stand out was absolutely phenomenal. So be on the watch out for him. Black Poison, he was actually quite quiet in that last series, but he did his job, you know, slightly carried by the rest of his team in the fragging department, but still, he did his role, and then HMP, the final player on there as well. And Kana, if there's one player to stand out for you and look out for in this grand final from Nerd Rage, who do you think it should be?
Joel's. Honestly, this is Xantares versus Joel's, but Joel's, I mean, you always talk about how amazing he is on pistol rounds.
Yeah.
But even you still can't underestimate his influence during normal rounds as well. This man has been around for a very long time, ever since the CS Source days, regardless of the online reputation he has, which is a false one because he's been to many offline events. He's very young as well, and you can always count on him to perform. And I think, or either I feel, and I know for a fact, that when he's not popping heads, the rest of his team struggle.
Well, there we go. The team preview's ready for the grand finale here at the first tournament, our inaugural tournament at NIP Gaming TV since our launch. You can us here at the NIP Gaming Studio, which is why we've kind of been delayed since launching this product, the grand package kind of thing earlier on in the year. But we hope you are enjoying the content so far. If you want to give us any feedback, follow us on Twitter at NIP Gaming TV. What were you going to say there? I could hear you.
Oh my
fucking
god,
yeah, when you said product, basically you reminded me of when you were trying to push these two.
And how awful I am at plugging.
No, it's not how awful you were at plugging. The reason why I laughed was because I think you mentioned the RAM, and then you switched over to the SSD, but you said it in such a way which just resembled an actual salesman.
Well, it's what I'm here to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, we're not trying to sell this to
them.
No,
because they're free.
Yeah, exactly, they're free. So, guys, Ballistics have been kind enough. See, that was really smooth and swift.
Nice, good. We should talk about that after, not live, but carry on.
What do you mean, not live? Offline?
Yeah.
He's just trying to take away from the limelight. He just can't stand it, you know, when I'm doing well. He wants all the attention to himself. Like earlier on, he was fixing the lights, and he was like slowly tilting one of the lights towards him, so you see him more than me because he's so obsessed with himself. But seriously, we're not obsessed with ourselves, nor our Ballistics. Sorry. They love you, which is why they're giving you an opportunity to win loads of amazing 16 gigabyte RAM kits from them. High speed stuff, brilliant stuff, strongly recommend them. Got 2 of these in my own computer as well, and 16 gigabytes, loads of memory for you to load loads of applications. Some will be given away to followers, so that is of course a free giveaway. Some will be given away to subscribers. So if you can subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. If you can't, all you have to do is scroll down and press the follow button. That's all we ask. It literally takes no more than 5 seconds, and then you will be in with a chance of winning some awesome Ballistics RAM. And as well, we're giving away crucial Ballistics SSDs. If you don't know what an SSD is, it's a solid state drive. Basically, it's a hard drive. Most of you will probably have old, creaky mechanical hard drives in your computer, which are really, really slow. Not this thing. This thing is digital. This thing is ridiculously fast. And here at the studios, the computers you can see right in front of us, we actually have these SSDs installed on our computer, and it literally loads up in a matter of seconds. It's amazing. And all you have to do is just subscribe to the channel. And at the end of today, we'll be picking 2 random subscribers as winners, and they will win an SSD each.
And this is the thing, you don't have to be in the chat when we do the giveaway. We'll probably do the giveaway whilst we're off air, after we finish and pack down and make sure we're good to go here at the studio. So we'll do the giveaway after, and all you literally have to do is subscribe, and we'll contact you and do all of the hard work from there. It's our gift to you guys at home. If you don't want to subscribe or follow the channel, you can just scroll down, and your local e-tailers in your local countries have given you guys some discount codes as well. And also you get those emotes as well. We've got a little announcement coming out about emotes in a couple of hours time. We'll talk about that maybe a bit later on. We've reached a good amount of subscribers now and can update from our initial 2 of the NIP TV Alu emote with the Red Bull there and the Forest Kappa as well. But it looks like we are ready to go in with the knife, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, the first map. It will be Dust 2, and of course, as you can see, good shout out to CSGO Lounge. They've been awesome to us this weekend. We really appreciate the hard work that they put in to ensure that you betting fanatics out there can put your gorgeous skins on this series. And kind of take it away with some funny accents, please, on the knife.
It's a bit late, I think.
Too late, I filled for too long.
Baba!
I like it.
Clean and easy, my friend. But yeah, in memory of Raheem. Oh wait, no, it's not in memory.
I was going to say not in memory. He's still around.
He's come back. Yeah, I remember when I first started casting, used to do his voice. It was so nostalgic at the time because it was before he came back to participate in CSGO. But yeah, it's awesome to have him back. Maybe one day we can invite him over to the studio. Fly him in from Dubai.
That would be interesting.
Only se pare only.
Anyways,
super.
I omul meciului.
El e omul meciului.
It was, yeah, indeed.
Yep.
A good start. And let's see what side they're going to go on. I'll just make sure to switch things up. Obviously, our graphics here being done on the spot with our production. So make sure that that is switched around for you guys. And on the right side, so you can see who is on what team. And Kyanite, this is it. The grand final of the Ballistic CSGO Challenge is on its way. Pistol round on Dust 2. Let's get it going.
Roger that. It's going to be Zantares.
Hi. Tugux.
Try and take on some of these Nerd Rage players. We've got Tugux just waiting outside along, but the C team, Nerd Rage, they're trying something different. All three of them.
5v4.
Bar one, who's on the B bomb site, deciding to walk out. They're going to walk straight into the crosshair of the lurker. Tugux, he's going to push long now. The CT's in deep trouble, and Zantares and co here, Chewy, have noticed that the A bomb site is completely empty.
Out they go as Black Poison will find his head demolished here by Despot there, and this is not looking good for Nerd Rage. So far on Dust 2, winning 16-7 fashion, I believe. Was the last time they played in that semi-final match to secure their spot in this grand final. And now Joels will find himself the last one left alive. Space Soldiers will secure the round here with only one casualty.
Bine tu, Xantres.
Can I, just before we go into round number 2, why don't you talk about what's up for grabs here in this grand final? Because I know we've been talking about so much for the guys at home, but these players have got a lot at stake in terms of their prize pool.
Yeah, of course, basically the team that will finish first, obviously will be the team that wins this grand final. They're basically going to win a massive $2,500 for their participation in the tournament and finishing first. And the team that finished second, they'll win $1,000. So $1,500, quite a significant difference between the team that finishes first and the team that finishes second. So both these teams, without a doubt, hungry to get the win. And we do have Nerd Rage here with the 5-7 armor buy, as we see teams normally do after losing the pistol round. But so far, a man down.
I'm not much of a maths man, but we worked it out that there is about, I think, a $300 difference between first place and second place, just for the individual players alone, if our math serves us correctly. And Space Soldiers looking good at the start here, just taking that anti-eco slowly as you kind of would expect, just watching in case Nerd Rage decides to push anything aggressively. Nerd Rage going for that armor pistol buy here in round number 2, but so far so good.
Deci ar fi bine dacă le-am luat eco-ul, pentru că...
Yeah, the Space Soldiers not really wanting to
ar fi deja
make any rash decisions, especially up against these 5-7s. We know how powerful are in CSGO.
Ce frumos
that the nades aren't powerful enough, but despite that, E1 is going to blow the South African in Black Poison absolute smithereens. Bomb down on the A bomb site now. The question at hand is, are Nerd Rage really going to bother with this retake, or are they just going to save these 5-7 armor, their 5-7 and armor for the next round?
Well, it looked like Flashy, of course, the player who replaced Cadian on this roster after Cadian couldn't make this final day, which is a shame. Would have been nice to see him here, but Flashy, as I said earlier, has been performing well since then. He got an exit frag, as will Villy G here. And as the T's exit, they will secure their second round. Villy G's actually been able to pick up an AK-47, so he'll be able to salvage that and utilise that as we go into round number 3. But Kyanite again, just in the break here between the rounds, we haven't really discussed too many of the maps so far. Obviously, and then map number 2 is a map that we actually saw right at the start of the tournament, but haven't seen since, and that's Train. And then of course, best map, our favourite, the CSGO Ballistics Cobble Challenge, as we now dubbed this tournament. It is cobblestone to finish things off.
Semi-full by daca și un
scout. Do you think we're going to need to go there?
Foarte bine.
Personally, I don't.
Iar ei sunt pe Ico și au doar un singur om fully gear. Nu are nimic, nigga. Nigga!
HMP tries to.
Bine mă, bine mă. 4v2, 4v2.
Easy frag there for the team. Will have that AK-47 in hand. Molotov lands at his feet, and he's got no other option now but to try and save it, and again just look for those exit frags. Great control from Space Soldiers so far.
Come on, Tugux!
I mean, I'm surprised Villy G is actually
Răzbună-te, Tugux!
Want to go and find some exit frags. There is one. Nice headshot onto E1. Knows that Tugux is to the left of him. Anticipated Zantares to be coming from the right as well. And fair play to him, he did manage to drop 2 terrorists Personally, I probably would have just pussied out, run away, look to save that AK-47, and obviously instead of having to rebuy an M4. But he's now forced 2 rebuys out of Space Soldier players, so not too shabby. But now this is where it's men versus men. It was men versus boys in the pistols, now it's men versus men. This is where Nerd Rage really need to put their foot down and show the Space Soldiers what they can really do. If this goes 4-0 and Nerd Rage will be forced back down onto an eco, it could be a quick 5-0 to the Space Soldiers, and things could start to get out of hand. So Nerd Rage need to build a bit of confidence and most importantly win a round for some momentum.
Beturile astea o să fac din ce în ce mai des.
Carefully over towards long. I think that nade
actually did a lot of damage. Fac și niște competitive, CSGO competitive.
HE grenades can sometimes deal a heck of a lot of damage or pretty much nothing whatsoever. It's like throwing a dud. And you were talking about frags earlier on. I looked up the definition of frags when you jack it means a frag grenade pretty much. So you were right on point with that, but this is better for Nerd Rage as they pick up the first kill. No mid control coming in for them, and we can see I think that's 3 players of Space Soldiers who have already made their way through those double doors. Let's see where they go next. They're moving their way back actually.
Yeah, Space Soldiers probably the right decision as well. They knew that Nerd Rage knew they were there, so now they are going to perhaps go to a plan B. But no, they still are going to execute towards B, but they're going to go through tunnels. And we've got a counter-terrorist who's pushed all the way through over tunnels.
Go, my friend.
And if the Space Soldiers can get this frag onto Willie G, then this could be huge. Forwards, go the Turks. Desper with that big green gun in the AWP. Misses the shot. Willie G to the left. HMP chimes in as well. Only comes in. Double from Only. Bomb and Tugux like to lurk. Tugux knows there's one more in there. And now it's 1 versus 1. Only's gotten 2 already. And now he only needs 1 more frag to win the round.
Only will be huge if Flashy can take this one. That Tugux lurking there. And he lurked well in mid. Taking out a couple of players, but now Only, I think he's aware of what's going on, and just at the wrong time, looking in the wrong direction. Only planted the bomb.
Știu că n-am parea foarte mult, o să pare din ce în ce mai mult, dar momentan mi-am pierdut toate skin-urile de pe CSGO.
Down with their economy, Space Soldiers just advancing them even more. So far, Carnite, pretty one-sided grand final as of yet.
Am avut mai multe skin-uri mai scumpe și le-am parea pe toate.
Nerd Rage have got to communicate in this round and discuss what they're going to do to try and bring this back.
Navi contra Flipside. Navi cu 70% șanse de câștig. Se pare că avem full buy de AK, iar ceilalți sunt pe ICO. Și Navi a pierdut în fața lui Flipside. Flipside având șanse de câștig 30%.
Again, up against these AK-47s, just too good, too powerful. What a shot there from Zantares.
Și am vrut să parez astăzi pe Navi contra Flipside, când Navi avea 74% șanse de câștig. Am vrut să parez pe Navi, dar sincer, nu te cred. Nu te cred. What the fuck? Come on, you shit.
Performing very well. I believe that's the hat trick for him in this round. Yes, it is indeed.
Unul dintre ei are un AK, iar unul este pe Echo. 2v1, 2v1.
Kobe grenade taking down.
Bine, mă, bine, mă, bine tu. Bine tu, Xantares.
Yeah, 5-0. What I wanted to finish was we saw Tugux, whilst the rest of his teammates were pushing up long, he was still in T-spawn, keeping an eye on double doors and keeping an eye on tunnels, basically being a nuisance for the CTs. Knew they were on an eco, knew they most likely were going to push a lot of different areas. We actually saw it the round before the last round, where he by himself, whilst his teammates pushed through up tunnels, he was lurking around double doors, pushed through and ended up fragging 3 CTs on the rotation. But this is amazing from Nerd Rage. Finally, they're starting to step it up. 2 players, both HMP and Joel's, coming in with frags. But if there's anything the Space Soldiers have taught us so far this event, it's never to rule them out, even when 2 or 3 men down.
Win this for me.
Are more than aware of that. They're not getting ahead of themselves after those 2 starting frags here in round number 6. The cannons
destul de ok dacă pierdem o rundă. Haideți
we know how expensive they are, so Nerd Rage deciding to invest heavily. Try and bring this back in their favour, and so far so good, but we can see where the bomb is going. HMP is going to be the first line of defence on the back of the B-bomb site. They're going to peek round the corner. Will he get them? He peeks out just at the wrong time. He finds one. I think he must have legged them both at the same time there. Almost a triple kill in one for HMP. Down goes Despy, and we know what damage Tugux could do, but he will fall. Lovely work from the AWP.
Oh my god.
And that was 5
inimioară.
out of 5 kills there for Nerd Rage. Karnak, they are on the board here in the grand finals.
Bani la
Yeah,
fel
this is
și
important now. Space Soldiers can still
pare
afford
că
to
vom
buy,
face un
but
eco.
maybe if Nerd Rage, or
Da.
can they not afford to buy? No, it's only 2 of them, as a matter of fact, on 5k. So those players will most likely drop pistols,
Fuck my
whilst the
life.
others, they're stuck. And you think about how many consecutive rounds Space Soldiers won, but it's just proof that even though Nerd Rage
Oh my
were
god,
losing
pierdem,
rounds,
nu-i
they
bine.
were still dealing the damage and continuously forcing Space Soldiers to rebuy.
Yeah.
So this is a good chance now for Nerd Rage to build up a bit of bank on the more expensive CT side.
Nu uitați să dați un like
also get their
pentru că,
second round
cum
on
v-am
the
mai
board,
spus,
but
cum
flipping heck,
vă
this man
spun
is
de
just
fiecare
unbelievable.
dată, like-ul mă motivează
Champion will fall and
să
Flash is very low
continui, să
indeed, so
fac
still you
videouri în
cannot count the twos
continuare.
out of this round. They've left the
La
bomb
fel
in
și
two
share-ul,
form though, by
dacă
the looks of
dați un
things,
share,
and so
pot
one player
să
will
vadă și
retrieve
prietenii
that.
voștri
It
care să-mi dea și un
is
like.
E1.
Dacă vreți să mă susțineți, dacă
Just
nu,
about a minute left on the clock.
nu
They're
și
looking to
asta
potentially
e,
make their way out of mid,
nu o să
and
mai
Sarah's
pun.
there, or make their way up catwalk, which is where E1
nu are rost să
is heading now.
mirosesc
Black
banii
Poison does take
degeaba.
out Tugux there with the M4 to secure
Nu, o să vină de
the
pe
two-man
short.
advantage here for Nerd
No.
Rage, looking to get their second round on the board, and I
Bun, o
have
să
a good
pierdem
feeling
runda
that
asta.
Nerd Rage know exactly where these final 2 players are
Măcar
going to be.
avem-
Black Poison
avem un kill
sprays and
acolo.
all, shut down Antares there. Another
Oh
nice
my
1v
God.
from E1.
E1. The match is set to pause during.
Yeah, now they just have to try
What?
and find him. He does have the bomb.
What?
If he could get a plant here and kill the CT in Joel's
No.
bomb site, it's pretty much been a miracle. But Joel's isn't going to let him through. and
Ăsta mai avea 2
by the looks
H.
of things, we're going to have a quick
Bad.
pause. Not quite sure what's going wrong. Can you just press tab to check Tuguts's
5v3,
ping?
se pare
do
că
know
runda
he's
asta
being
nu vom
DDoSed
face
earlier on.
eco.
Right, okay, he's fine now.
I believe somebody's just needing to restart the internet. Our admin Scott
Match
just told me
pause.
that restarting internet, that was his only
What?
words he's
I was
given
speaking
to
to
me.
Scott earlier on. I told him
Oh,
if he
și
got
cineva.
£1 for every time you mentioned him on stream, he would be a very wealthy man right
Well, I
now.
think he's doing a very good job.
I think it's quite clear that you have a bit of a man crush on him.
Shh, don't tell the whole world, Kyanite. That's supposed
And
to be a
you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm your boss here. Like, as far as I'm concerned,
Cred că o să
I'm
tai
not
un
really a
pic
big
și o
fan
să
of
revenim
relationships
când
between
reîncepe
co-workers.
Do
meciul.
we have to sign like a work
bărâbă
contract
puțin.
that we're in an official
Okay.
relationship?
Bărâbă
No,
or
you
something
sign the
like
contract, you just don't realise it. Yeah.
Ouch.
So unfortunately, after this final, you are going to get fired. But I thought it'd be nice to let you cast the final anyways.
Well, thanks for telling me in advance, just so it's not a shock after we
Yeah,
finish.
exactly.
Cheers,
Exactly.
mate.
I mean, I wouldn't want you right here in under the ground in our secret NIP lair where the studio is based. I wouldn't want you to have a heart attack, and because to be fair, the ambulance would struggle to really get down here underground. But anyways, what am I talking about?
I have no idea. quite
5-2
frankly.
in favour of Space Soldiers. Pretty good for the Turks, but DDoS 2, let's bear in mind that it is arguably their best map, and statistically it is their best map as well. So Nerd Rage, they've got 2 rounds so far. They are on the CT side, but they do have money to work with, and there's still plenty of rounds to be played. We're only in the 8th round here.
I'd really think here, obviously it's all to play for. We've seen Nerd Rage do a good job on Dust 2 as well. As I said, against Encore, they took that 15-7. They looked okay on this map, this tournament, but it is, yeah, Space Soldier's real kind of heavy favourite here. I have a feeling, though, that this veto really favourites Space Soldiers because we know they are very good on Cobblestone as well, which is this decider. We've not really talked too much about the vetoes so far this tournament. We've announced what the maps will be, but we've not gone in depth and looked at them analytically to see whether it leads to any thoughts. I mean, I have a feeling that if Nerd Rage wants to take this series, they need to do it in the first 2 maps because we know Space Soldiers are very good on Dust 2, but they are also very good on Cobblestone as well, which is our 3rd deciding map. So if they can create some shock and awe treatment like they did on Encore in the semi-final, and Nerd Rage win this first map and then surprise them on Train as well, you never know, but it's still a tough task.
So just waiting for one more Space Soldiers players, and yeah, it is in fact Tuguts. He was having either DDoS or internet issues earlier on.
Don't say the dreaded D word.
The D word.
Yes.
Someone's obviously giving Tuguts the D. You see.
How dare they? Yeah, won't be too long though. Hopefully, indeed. But Karnak,
Yeah.
what have you thought about this tournament so far? We've seen upsets, we've seen crazy series, we've seen a couple of shutouts as well. We had a few teams who unfortunately weren't able to join us, which is a shame, and we filled them in last minute. Once again, a big shout out to Online Bots who came in to play the tournament with about 9 hours notice after a team cancelled. But, recapping everything just while we've got this little break here, have you enjoyed the weekend's action?
Yeah, it's been alright. I mean, I was talking to you about it earlier on. I mean, obviously, SWC is actually going on right now, and Counter-Strike has grown so big to the point where we're seeing the top teams compete for thousands of dollars on a regular basis. But at the same time, Tier 1 aside, we still do have these Tier 2 and Tier 3 teams who one day dream of becoming a Tier 1 team, dream of being able to compete with the top Tier 1 sides. And the only way you can get better is through practice. You know what they say, practice makes perfect. And I think this tournament has been quite a nice breath of fresh air, because I'm so used to watching my Enviouses, my Cloud9s, all them top teams. This tournament has also taught me a lot more about teams like Space Soldiers, Gamers 2 and so forth, and in all honesty, I think they all have great potential, and in particular, Space Soldiers and Gamers 2. And the thing that's impressed me the most is actually how well Nerd Rage have played. They lost their first game 2-0 to Gamers 2, but after that they came out all guns blazing, and the main thing to note about Nerd Rage is that they haven't actually played this tournament with a solid 5.
No.
Like, 4 of them are all a part of the team, are all a normal lineup, but they have the 5th Merc, or the 5th Mixer. They used Cadian, and now they're using Flashy, and normally it's actually Blastfer, who's a Swedish player, who's quite well known as well in the scene. And it just makes me wonder how well Nerd Rage will have played throughout this tournament if they had actually had 5 players in their lineup. And let's bear in mind that they do have some very experienced players in this lineup as well. Black Poison, South African player, moved from South Africa to Sweden. He played DreamHack Winter, the one where LDLC won in the final, who are obviously now Team Envious. He played with Bravado Gaming. Again, we've got Billy G, who's been around for a very long time, HMP, old school Swede, Joel's very well known in the scene, and Flashy showed what he could do up against, I believe it was Encore in the previous best of 3. So they're a very good lineup, but I'd really love to see Nerd Rage playing as a full 5, and I can guarantee you they probably, or most likely, will definitely be invited to the next Ballistics Challenge that we run here. And they've been a joy to watch throughout the event.
They certainly have been, and as you say, it's kind of nice to have that humbleness about them where they underestimated themselves. And I hope they carry on the form, no matter what the result here in the grand final. The fact that, as we pointed out so many times, that they weren't expecting to get out of the groups and now find themselves in a spot to play for $2,500 in the title of our first Ballistics CSGO Challenge champions. That was a mouthful. They've done more than impress us, so I hope they've impressed themselves as well, and they take this away. But
well, that's the thing. I mean, how can teams like Space Soldiers, Nerd Rage, Gamers 2, Encore, and so forth get better, you know, without playing more games against both teams who are better than them and teams who are in and around their skill level? Like, prior to this tournament, people knew Nerd Rage as a newly formed team. They played some games in the Fragbite Masters. They, in fact, were very close to beating Envious on Dust 2, and they were very close to a lot of other upsets online. But this is the thing, they've been put into this tournament, and they've been put up against teams like Space Soldiers, teams like Encore, who, if it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't have been able to prac against or had a chance to play against. And I think proof of that is that they were underestimating themselves. When
Don't reload. Don't fucking reload.
To go out the groups, because we've never played against most of these teams. We've never practiced against them. We see them on HLTV all the time and competing in bigger events, and always felt and thought that, yeah, they're a higher tier than us, but they've been given this opportunity and they've taken it very well, and this will do them a world of good, not just for their confidence but for them as a team in general.
I certainly agree, I really do. Just got word from my favourite man, Scott behind the scenes, that apparently it is live again, so GoTV will hopefully catch up in a minute and we will be back with this one. But let's have a look at the buy coming in here, just while we have got pause before we do go back live again. We've got one player missing for Nerd Rage by the looks of things. HMP and Joel's have got the double AWP setup. Now, we know how costly that can be if it doesn't quite work out for you here, but with that double AWP setup, what kind of a play do you reckon we can see coming out here for the CC side? How would Space Soldiers come and try and counteract those AWPs, because they have got those 5 AK-47s for this next guy?
Yeah, well, the way I see it is what we will most likely see from Nerd Rage is one of the AWP players going straight towards long. Later on in the round, he'd probably swap over a rifle, then maybe sit towards short or towards a ramp to watch short off there. And then the other AWP player sort of being a very versatile player, where he might start off by peeking mid, even though that's sort of disappearing from the meta game at the moment on DDoS 2, and then he'll basically be rotating between mid and the back of the B bomb site, and sometimes maybe keeping an eye on B ramp whilst his right hand man keeps an eye on tunnels with an M4. So many different possibilities, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what they do opt to go for, what setup they opt to go for.
Finally, live, thanks for your patience, ladies and gentlemen, back at home. All havoc ensues. They want to get back into the action quickly and not waste any time as Billy G gets to Xantares. That man who's so strong will respond, and they have control of this smaller B-bomb site here. Black Poison looking to rotate quickly through tunnels. That's a big kill there, securing 2-man advantage. Despair is low on health. He can still do damage with that AK, but he's not going to be able to do so. It's all up to Only. We know that this guy can still do some good damage as well, but it's not going to happen. And Flashy, this is the guy, of course, replacing KD in here, who couldn't play this weekend after their victory in the group stages, and he comes in strong there. Nice retake from Nerd Rage, 3-5. And just another side point about Space Soldiers I have to point out is that they've done a lot of preparation for these knockout stages. They've come in looking strong. Apparently, 4 of them were up at 6 o'clock this morning, getting ready and practicing and getting warmed up. And one player was actually up all night watching demos of Gamers 2 for their semi-final match to prepare for this. So they're taking this seriously, and their gameplay is certainly seriously impressing.
4 of them?
Yeah, apparently.
I wonder who the 5th was. Hint, hint, he's on the screen right now. No, I'm just kidding. I love me a bit of Xantares. No, but seriously, he has impressed me so much this event. I mean, there's some people on certain forums saying that this man, by the looks of what we've seen so far this tournament, has what it takes to even compete on a tier 1 level, particularly aim-wise. He's just been fantastic, and I'm really happy to have been able to cast his matches, but that's only the first casualty here for the Space Soldiers. Xantares, the only terrorist with armor. As we wait to see what approach Space Soldiers are going to take. Currently the Nerd Rage defense is pretty split. 3 players on A, 2 players on B, and now Joel's finds himself in a bit of a tough situation. Out comes a P250, Black Poison chimes in, and at the moment now it's 5 versus 1, the world against Tuguks, and it is going to be Nerd Rage. They were 5-0 down, but they've brought it back to 5-4. Good stuff from Nerd Rage.
I think that was 4 there from Joel's in that round. Great work. Missing a couple of AWP shots, but able to clean up things with a pistol. It was an eco, all bearing in mind though. And as we go into round number 10, double figures here in the first match on Dust 2. We have semi-full by the M4. Still that double AWP setup here. And I'm liking this aggressive push. Once again, still changing things up on the Nerd Rage decent side of this map. Let's see how Space Soldiers choose to deal with it.
Boost on short, just allowing the counter-terrorist to peek towards lower tunnels. HMP though, he said this left the meta game, but he is going to be holding mid with that AWP, gets the frag onto the all-important Xantares of Space Soldiers, and now with their Starman down, in hand is what are the Space Soldiers going to try and do to unlock this Nerd Rage defense?
It's a big opening frag there, of course, to take down Xantares. We talked about him a lot, and he is kind of the standout player. So to get that opening frag of the round onto him is a nice start. And the clock is ticking here for Space Soldiers, but they won't be worrying too much now. And Flashy in this position, I really feel can do some damage. I saw him playing it early on. It's kind of as I call the NBK position on long there, which we see NBK like to take quite a lot. And I'm actually going to switch over to Tugex, who's kind of lurking at the minute. We can see that Flashy is flashed as all they do is push through 1 by 1. Flashy with 2. I said to watch out for him in this position. Only's going to look to return the frag, and he will, but only the last one left alive. Not going to do any more damage. He falls. Flashy the only casualty, and we are all even. 5-5.
Yeah, the Space Soldiers terrorist train has pretty much crumbled, and they can just about mount up a buy. They've got only 2 smokes to work with, so you could very well see a B execute. 1 smoke should be enough to smoke over towards CT spawn, and then 1 smoke after this Molotov appears should be enough to just smoke towards the left-hand side of outer tunnels, the left-hand side to where Billy G was looking, because that will cover him in case there's any rotating CT coming from the doors. But slow and steady, Hank wins the race, and Joel's got himself in that position. None of the Space Soldiers players actually watched down double doors, but he failed to capitalise.
Triple AWP here from the CTs, actually, I've only just realised. And we can see that needs to be smoke coming in now, but still no pushes as of yet. It looks like Space Soldiers are just waiting for those CT grenades to run out, but HMP will get 2 to start things off. That's 3 with Billy G chiming in. 4, will he get it? No, he will not. Flashy nicks the final kill, but still the triple from HMP, and for the first time in the grand final, Nerd Rage will take the lead. The economy for Space Soldiers is it's okay, I mean, they can force it up, but I don't know if they will, to be quite honest. The Nerd Rage, this is what they can do when they get the momentum in their favour and the pendulum swings back in their favour. They rarely stop, and can Space Soldiers stop them in their tracks? If there's any team in this tournament so far proving that they could be able to do so, it's certainly the opposition team of Space Soldiers.
So, 2 Space Soldier, and in fact 3 Space Soldier players. No, only 2, yeah. I can count.
Hashtag maths.
Making their way towards the lower tunnels. Saw that smoke go over double doors, and this is very similar to what we saw Space Soldiers do on their pistol round. Just creep up short. Unfortunately, Nerd Rage are not really having anyone looking towards mid, so Joel's is aware with regards to what might be coming, and there we go. Flash goes over, and the Turkish train begins. Only with a kill, only with a double. This is brilliant deagle work from the Turk. And now, what are Space Soldiers going to do? Fall back to short? All try and hold the bomb site together? Let's wait and find out.
Well, Billy G's on the quick rotate here. He's going to get flashed in by his teammate, but the Space Soldiers team are more than aware of that, and this is getting tricky for Nerd Rage here. What is happening? This force spike is coming in such good fashion. That's 3 deagle kills in a row. HMP is going to try and do something, but it is not going to work out, and Flashy has no other option but to save. And that's how you break it up, Karnite here. This is what we, thought that Space Soldiers could do. You could really never count them out, even though Nerd Rage were picking up the momentum, instantly disrupted, halted to a stop. 6-6, all even here.
Perfect.
And I believe we do have a pause. Yeah, we do have a pause coming in. We sorted ASAP, and not too much of a long pause again here. So apologies about this, guys. We want this game to go as smoothly as possible for your sake at home. We hope you're enjoying the stream so far. But kind of there, that's got to be heartbreaking. We know what damage those Tech 9s can do, but a great round from Space Soldiers.
Well, it wasn't even about the Tech 9s. It was
the Deagles, yeah.
Amazing Deagle work. It really was like the Deagle of old, and this is what's really excited me about CSGO and the new metagame recently. Players have started trying to utilise the Deagle a lot more, and a lot of people have discussed the Deagle in CSGO. Many people saying that it's broken, it's not worth the money, as it's more expensive, da-di-da-di-da-di-da. But we do have a rare breed of players who do actually use it, and when they do use it, and when they can utilise those 1-deags, it's so satisfying to watch. But the damage dealt is so high that it's so satisfying to be one of those players or a part of the team with a player who can in fact just buy out the Deagle and do the damage that, for example, we saw Only do on that last round. He opened up that A bomb site single-handedly, all by himself, with only a pistol. So when you've got a man on your team who can do that, it's massive.
It's all even here, Karnite, and this is proving to be a very, very close map indeed between these two. We hope it carries on in this fashion and that one doesn't just start to run away with things. I'd really like to see a good, proper competitive game, because some of these games have been really close, and then we've had other complete whitewashes at times. I guess that's just the nature of CS, but this is the grand final now. This is supposedly the best 2 teams in the entire 8-team tournament, or actually it was 7 teams in the end. The Team Ace are dropping out, unfortunately, but we just hope it's going to be a great one. I'm really looking forward to Train. I know it's a long time away, but we saw it early on Friday, I think in our first series of the day, and we didn't see it again after that. So I hope that Train's a good one, and that we get to go to that third map of Cobblestone as well.
Yeah, definitely. We look forward to this grand final for a while. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting it to be Gamers 2 versus Encore. and the exact opposite teams have ended up here, but congratulations to them. And obviously, Gamers 2 at Encore, they're not going to walk away empty-handed either. They are going to get $500 each.
Hai bă că fac video ăsta de 7 ore cât am filmat.
Basically $100 a player, so not too bad for a few best of threes and a bit of Counter-Strike practice over a weekend. But of course, I'm sure they'd love to be one of these two teams in the grand final right now. But here we go, Black Poison is back.
Aparent oamenii ăștia nu sunt deloc bine pregătiți pentru un meci de
finally get a move on here on Dust 2.
Yeah, I've been told there shouldn't be any more
40 de minute nu poți să stea pe scaunul ăla
in that sentence, but we want it smooth and sexy Counter-Strike for you, ladies and gentlemen at home.
Avem două cauri, două
Round number
AVP-uri și
13,
un
there is only a couple more
M4A1.
to go in this first half of the
două
first
AVP-uri și una K
and we've
și
got
două
four on the field,
M4A1.
Carnite. You don't all too often see a double up set up on the T side of this map, but you never know, Space Soldiers can definitely make it work.
Sunt doi pe long,
Tugux,
aparent.
instead of doing his normal lurking role, looks like due to the fact that there's two AWPers,
Du-te pe
his team
short,
now need a little bit more versatility.
du-te pe short.
Meanwhile, Flashy,
Duceți-vă pe
a
short.
very interesting position that he's holding it long. He's got the smoke behind him and he stood right in front of it, trying to surprise any terrorists making their way towards that area.
E cineva în tunel.
However, currently just judging by positions and judging by the fact that there is a terrorist making his way towards the tunnels, it looks like Space Soldiers are going to try and execute mid to B. But Villy G, good stuff from him. Like, he almost died, but he still went towards tunnels and got that information. It created the push from Flashy from long. But regardless, Space Soldiers mowed down 3 out of the 5 Nerd Rage players. That nade going over to the back of the B bomb site, surprisingly not doing any damage. But surely at this point, it's going to take a miracle for Black Poison and HMP to salvage something from this round.
Can they do it? That is the question. The clock is ticking, and if Black Poison can delay this push, well, I'm going to finish my sentence because Xantares, of course it's Xantares, the man to push through and deal the relevant damage, and now HMP finds himself the last man left alive. And I thought that looked really good for Nerd Rage there, because we saw that one player who was peeking into upper tunnels from being, if he'd have been able to peek up a cheeky kill with his M4 there, I think yeah, it was Flashy, of course, the player in long. He pushed through the double doors and went aggressive and got up to the top of mid. He didn't pick up any kills, he got information, but that was it.
Două AVP-uri
Space Soldiers picked up 3 kills in very quick succession,
două
even if
două
I could
AVP-uri
finish
și
my sentence.
M4A1. Nu mai stau să
They secure the round win once again, and now the lead, 7-6 of the scores. We head into the penultimate round of this first half. Joel tagged very low down, leg through the door, 19 HP for him.
Bun, păi unul de la ei e pălit rău, iar unul e doar așa un pic ciupit, înțelegeți?
So Tugux just patrolling the tunnels with that bomb on his back, and
Mâncava-și gura
right now Space Soldiers just taking their time.
Meșcheroși.
They want to go into the second half, 9-6 up. Oh my god, where on earth was that from? HMP, I believe he was at mid. Just randomly fired a shot through the smoke and ended up dropping Tugux. Not Tugux, sorry, ended up dropping Only. And he was one of the 2 Space Soldier AWPers. So, an important frag. But the Space Soldiers, it's almost like they're trying to find a frag of their own just before they execute anywhere. But that clock is ticking. I'm sure they can hear it. Going tick-tock in the back of their heads, and they'll know as soon as they hit that all-important 30-second mark, they're going to need to get a move on. And it seems like B is going to be their main
area of focus. There we go. Finally got there. Good stuff, but it is going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Exactly what the Nerd Rage squad didn't want. Now we can see one player lurking. He's going to drop into CT spawn. Surely behind them. Will they be aware of it? They must have just heard Tugux there. You said this guy's outstanding at lurking. He wasn't, unfortunately, going to be able to do much damage there. And they do have the man advantage, so they've got to go for this retake here to Nerd Rage. D1 is going to get caught out now. No. Desper. He has the AWP in hand. He peeks out from tunnel. He finds one. Now they know exactly where he is, though. He finds the second shot. Will he find the third? No, he will not. Joel's the standout player, in your opinion, for the Nerd Rage squad. Will pick up the final kill. So close for Desper. They're heartbreaking, but it's all evened up. 7-7. Joel survives with the AWP. And now Karnak, we go into the last round of the first half with it all to play for. Who is going to take the half win here?
Space Soldiers are.
Fucking God.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's what my gut feeling tells me.
Trebuie să câștigăm runda asta și recuperăm noi la
What the Space Soldiers did that last round was They left Tugux on shore, so he was the man who was just trying to catch any CTs rotating away from the A-bomb site. There's casualty number 1. E1 hits the floor, Flashy with the frag. Billy G proving me wrong as he chimes in as well, but Desper gets a return. Orc shot onto the face of HMP. So the Space Soldiers still well and truly healthy here despite being a man down. They still have Xantares left alive, so who knows what magic he might come up with. And that was magic towards the B-bomb site. Desper getting ready to hit mid to B really fast here. He's in fact going to go through tunnels. All the Turks going together. They know that Xantares got that pick onto the B-bomb site. They know that Nerd Rage only play one player on the B-bomb site. And now they're going to plant the bomb and just hold after plant positions.
But we saw Nerd Rage retake this similar situation in the last round on this exact same bomb site. And can they repeat that feat? Together here. They do not want to engage in one-on-one gunfight. Xantares is going to engage in the gunfight though, and he will fall. And they know exactly where Desper is. For the second round in a row, Nerd Rage successfully retake the bomb site. Will defuse the bomb and will defuse the bomb and will secure the half win. 8-7 is the scoreline. Nerd Rage with the victory in that half, but still very much all to play for. And we wanted it to be close. It is close. Let's hope it continues in this fashion.
To be fair, I guess they technically do have to secure the bomb before they can defuse the bomb.
So even though I mixed up my words and made a right hash of it, it still technically worked.
Yeah. Trying to help you out here,
Thank you, buddy. No, I appreciate it, of course.
Yeah.
Into the pistol round, Kai. I know you love these taking away, my friend.
Going towards double
3 oameni cu armură.
Wow, offshore gets the 1 USP. Completely surrounded, will make it 2. And is this pistol round now tilted in the way of the Space Soldiers? If they can get one more frag, it very well may have written their name on it. But the Turks are going to fall back and play passive now. They know they've got this 2-man lead. They don't need to face, they don't need to lose men. And if Desper can get this frag, then it may be over on this pistol round for Nerd Rage, unless Black Poison and Billy G can genuinely do the impossible in this 2 versus 5.
Black Poison's going to start that off, and now it's a 3 versus 2 all of a sudden here. And look, Karnak, they've got control of the bomb site. The quick rotation will come in, but they need to try and get the bomb down here just to help their economy out. You would have thought that Space Soldiers would try and get their players back in there quickly. Xantares takes down Black Poison. And it will be left up to Billy G. He's one of the standout players for me. He really played well against Encore. And this is what I like to see here. Actually going for the fake defuse. I thought Tugux was going to peek out whilst E1 stuck that. They do have the kit, but Billy G's got to be so careful in this situation. E1 will find the kill. And I believe that's the hat trick for him there. What a lovely round from that player. Securing the round win along with the defuse there for Tugux. 8-8 it is, all even. And I believe that means that Space Soldiers have won both pistols on this map.
Yeah, E1 went for the defuse just to try and force Billy G out of tunnels, which he did eventually, and then they realised that it was getting too late. So Tugux, he was the man with the defuse kit. He fell back to defuse the bomb, and it was all up to E1 to essentially be that bodyguard. And he did his job, got the 1 USP and did it in style. So very good round coming out from E1. 3 kills with the USPS, all headshots. Right when it mattered the most, because if Nerd Rage had won it, they most likely would have ended up at 11-7.
Peeking out will find those fees as they enter towards mid. They've got the crossfire set up. Look at this, it's just going to be an absolute massacre. HMP will take out Xantares, but not too much damage dealt elsewhere. 9-8 is the score. Space Soldiers take the lead once again here. But Nerd Rage, they pretty much went for a full save there, as you would expect. They planted the bomb in that first round of the half, as we saw. They're able to get a full buy, well, you know, an AK-47 buy here and buy up and not just have pistols in this round, so they can compete here. No AWPs as of yet, though. It's still early in the half.
Yeah, definitely can compete as well, especially knowing that some of these Space Soldiers have FAMASs, but look at this. Nerd Rage didn't leave anyone checking mid. So no one's actually quite aware. The player going into upper tunnels for Nerd Rage isn't quite aware that Space Soldier players may have pushed through lower tunnels. And now they definitely will know this. Xantares spraying and praying through the smoke. Gonna lob the nade there as well, putting both Black Poison and Village, very low on HP. Good teamwork coming in from E1 as well. One player was a distraction, allowing E1 to peek and get that headshot. And right now, It's the Space Soldiers who are in the driving seat.
Or is it as HMP responds, as does Joel? Lovely headshot there onto E1. Is he going to turn around? Oh, Tugnuts, good night. HMP shuts him down. Xantares will respond, and look at how low these players are. 28 HP combined between 3 players, and they will plant the bomb. This is very doable for the Space Soldiers team. But will they do it? I'm liking his position from HMP here, just lurking in lower tunnels. Let's see if they spot him out, switch over to that player, see what they find. He may have just hurt them there. And I think these final 2 players are going to make their way around towards Longcar, and they're just going to go for the exit here. I think they will. They aren't aware how low the Nerd Rage players are, and that's going to be all even once again, 9-9.
Yeah, interesting decision. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said they're not really aware of the current HP of some of these Nerd Rage players. I mean, 1 bullet is all that's really required to take out Joel's and HMP. I mean, heck, Joel's is on 1 HP. Xantares could have thrown a flash at him and killed him. So yeah, they didn't go for it in the end. Personally, I think that was the wrong decision, but it is now tied up at 9-all. Especially that last round where Space Soldiers were the first ones to get the entry frag. They had the man lead, but fair play to Nerd Rage. They quickly got 2 return frags, brought it back, and then took full control of that A-bomb site despite how low they were.
Nothing able to separate these 2 teams at the minute, but who will be separated and get themselves into double figures here? Philly G's got anything to do with it. With a hat-trick already in this round, it's going to be Nerd Rage. Got maybe an assist on that first kill, but still phenomenal stuff. Jolt is going to make his way through mid, backs away there, doesn't want to get too over aggressive and make a mistake. Get the bomb planted on the elevator is only. I don't know why he would pick that situation there, to be quite honest. Maybe a bit risky, and Jolt is going to get caught out as well. Oh dear, it's going wrong for Nerd Rage. 1 versus 2 here, and they are going to be able to spray down Billy G and Kyanite. What happened? They didn't need to peek all of those situations. I know it was an aggressive retake from Space Soldiers, but still, Nerd Rage had such good control and let it slip.
Yeah, well, the final player in pit had to do what he had to do, really, but yeah, I fully agree. HMP, I mean, he planted the bomb. Just stay on the site. Maybe even make a crossfire by standing at graffiti, because then what he can do is stay in communication with the player who's in pit, and then the player in pit can be the one facing rather than HMP. And then as soon as he sees the CTs coming up from CT spawn trying to get A ramp control, that's where HMP and him can actually initiate the crossfire. But yeah, interesting decision. And let's hope that it's not a decision that Nerd Rage will regret come the end of the map.
And these
teams have had so many pauses so far in this map, and Black Poison's not able to play this round by the looks of things, so it will be a 5 versus 4, which means that Space Soldiers are in a very good point to move it forward into 11-9. Nerd Rage all the same are on an eco, so it probably will be a pause after this round's finished, I would imagine. HMP looking to do some damage. That's Xantares, the big man for Space Soldiers, tagged down to 28 HP, but no frags out of yet.
Nope. E1 can have a say. No, not just yet. There it is, finally. Headshot, and I think there was actually a frag. Nerd Rage with the pistol kill only towards double doors, sprays and plays onto HMP. Molotov goes out towards short. Just about missing getting crisped and barbecued alive there, Joels. But the Space Soldiers should have this one in the bag, and you know what? They really well do. 11-9, not much Nerd Rage really could have done there.
O simt în oase.
5-4 it will be.
Sunt tot 5v4.
And they will pause here in this situation, which is the same. Hopefully Black Poison can get in and get back going as soon as possible.
Match paused.
Yeah, so which player is now missing from Nerd Rage? We've got
Black
HMP,
Poison.
Black Poison, that's it. I actually have a lot of respect for Black Poison. I really do. I mean, a lot of people sort of ridiculed him when he sort of came up with the decision to leave South Africa and move to, I think it was Sweden, to pursue trying to play Counter-Strike professionally in Europe. I mean, granted, you can argue he's not yet in a top team as he plays for Nerd Rage, even though he participated with Bravado at a major event. But, you know, it goes to show how much he loves the game and how much the game means to him, and how much he was really willing to sacrifice to you know, give it his all to become a professional Counter-Strike player, and I really respect that.
Unfortunately, he's having a few technical difficulties. Now, kind of the way that things work here is that our admins behind the scenes, like obviously we're giving the players actually a lot of breathing room compared to some other tournaments. We've allowed them to get a 6th player in case they have technical difficulties at times. We've also allowed them an emergency player in case anything really does go wrong. And Nerd Rage have used all of those. We saw, obviously, as we said, Cadian beforehand was their 6th player, and they really swapped him out. And there's absolutely nothing they can do here. They have to play 4 versus 5. You can't keep the game paused forever. Otherwise, we could be here all night. So, unfortunately, we've got to carry on with it. Although it's looking good so far. They've secured the man advantage. Having to play with 4 players for now until Black Poison can hopefully rejoin us in a few minutes' time once he sorts out his technical difficulties. I know it's a shame, but we can't keep the game paused all night.
Shame. Shame.
He won.
Shame.
Joel sometime soon. It's a battle of wits. It's a battle of aim. It's a battle of who's the better rifler between E1 and Joel's, but no one won that battle just yet. And, despite Nerd Rage being on 4 players, up against 5, it's actually the Space Soldiers with only 3 right now.
But will it swing back in their favour? The Nerd Rage have got 44 seconds left to play. You can see they're making their way down long. Togox is going to be the man to try and stop them along with E1 here. I'm not sure if E1's actually spotted that one player's gone on the cross. He'll spot that player now, and that's actually the bomb down. But it's a 3 versus 2. Zantares, the player in mid, will spot. Joel's going up there onto the catwalk area, jumping over the box, but will not be able to connect any bullets. And with 22 seconds left, the bomb is still in a really precarious position. This is not good here. Flashy needs to get this kill, and he needs to do it now.
No.
He will do. Zantares, the last one left alive, versus 3. But Karnite, if we've learned anything about this player, if there's anyone on his Space Soldiers team to crush, it's him.
It most certainly is. The question is he going to go for it? You know what? Holy man, this man is mental. He is going to go for it, and if he can get one more frag, then this might get hot and spicy. But Flashy does get the frag nonetheless. 11-10, and Nerd Rage, sure, they've got 4 players, which is really unfortunate, but fair play to them. They still won the round.
And look at the economy here for Space Soldiers. It's really not pretty, actually. Nerd Rage gonna go for that double AWP setup still, which worked for them actually on the T-side in the last round, and Desper gets his head dispatched through the door at the start of round number 22. We're even on a 4-on-4 at the start of the round, obviously, but Space Soldiers, their economy is pretty broken, so they're down to pistols here, only with the scout in hand, and Vili G looking to get aggressive, take matters into his own hands.
See whether he can do it. He most certainly can here. Only headshot coming in onto Vili G. Togox as well. That nade is going to land right at the feet of HMP, but HMP knows Togox is there, gets a double. And at the moment, the Space Soldiers really struggling with only 5-7s, but HMP is quite low on HP, so Zantares may be able to work his magic. Unfortunately, not this time round. And E1, he's 1 versus 2 now after that frag to try and go head to head with the remaining Nerd Rage players. And come on, E1, he's going to do it. 2 frags coming out from him, and Flashy seems to no longer be moving. So what does his ping look like?
Well, he's back in. Apparently, once again, we may have another pause or so, but it should go live straight away again.
What does Flashy's ping look like?
Let's have a look, sorry.
22 is fine. Yeah, he's stopped moving. I thought it was strange because he went towards lower tunnels and wanted to flank E1, who they knew was outside on B ramp. And wow, E1's just won this round. And there we go, there's the disconnect. What's going on with Nerd Rage right now?
I don't know. This is the difficult thing with online games. There's nothing we can really do in this situation. Apologies about the pauses, guys. Again, sat here at the casting desk, we can't do anything to control the players, you know. And this is the thing, I don't want to put anybody on blast whatsoever, but these guys are, you know, pretty much professional players. They need to make sure that their internet connections are secure and stable and everything like that. So if they are having issues, what can they do? And that was a round that Nerd Rage really couldn't actually afford to lose, if I'm quite honest. 12-10 will be the scoreline here, and hopefully we won't have any more connection issues. The Nerd Rage pause has been cancelled, and let's see if they can bring this back in their favour now that they've got all 5 people here ready to go.
Okay, come on Nerd Rage. Let's see what you can do. Disappointing because that last round would have actually gone in favour of Nerd Rage. Really surprised that Space Soldiers won it. And I think E1 himself just stood in tunnels doing nothing. Was probably surprised that he didn't hear the bomb go down anytime soon. But here we go. 2 Tech 9s. No, in fact, only 1 Tech 9 coming out from HMP. Flashy with the Glock. What can Nerd Rage do with these rifles? Only time will tell. It looks like they may very well be trying to execute mid to B. Where do you think they're going, Chewy?
Looks like they could be. Dantiger's going to get caught out there, and that secures the first kill of round number 23 here. This is important for Nerd Rage. They're still taking things very, very slowly, though, and they do have time on their side here, Kyanite. Tuguk's just pre-firing over towards long there to see what information he can find, and now it's only actually who I think rotated out of that B ramp kind of area to look down mid and see what information he could find. But still slowed down now, nothing going on. Really important, although E1, there we go, he responds. Now a 4-on-4, Tuguks will take down Black Poison, and suddenly this is all switched in favour of the Space Soldiers team. Flashy's going to get caught, unfortunately, and that means it's a 3-on-2. vreti looking to respond, and he will. 2 versus 2 with the quick rotations coming in from these final 2 players who are on long. They're looking to retake quickly. Will it work? No, it will not. HMP will.
Ce-a fost asta? Ce-a fost asta?
11 here, still very, very close indeed.
Nu înțeleg.
I guess winning that round sort of made up for what occurred 1 round ago. Again, unfortunate that Flashy sort of timed out, but Space Soldiers, they are on the more expensive CT side.
Suntem pe fucking Eco.
Into only pistols. Despa with the USPS. We've got 2 Desert Eagles coming out. Obviously, we saw what Only can do with a Desert Eagle on the T side. But pistols, unfortunately, just proving not strong enough, nowhere near strong enough for Space Soldiers to be able to prevent this long push coming from Nerd Rage, and will most likely see quite an easy round go in favour of the Nerd Rage.
One thing that's actually quite nice here is that Nerd Rage aren't getting on tilt after the technical difficulties that they encountered earlier on. You would have thought they'd probably be actually near map point, to be quite honest, really, if they'd have secured the rounds. Well, that round where, who was it who disconnected? Flashy, I think, who disconnected near the end. Or they'd be in a better position, but still they didn't get on tilt, they didn't get worried considering the technical difficulties, and they've carried on the good play. Space Soldiers still in with a good chance, though it's very close. Too close to call here, Kyanite.
Right down to the wire. If you've just tuned in, welcome to the Ballistic CSGO channel, CSGO Challenge Grand Final. As Nerd Rage start to make their way in and edge closer towards this A bomb site. Tuguks, there's the boost. It will now allow him to take on any T's coming up from long, or maybe just hold off short, just hiding behind the boxes. There is the double short setup. That nade going in from E1, and we could very well see him try and pop flash Tuguks in. But no, Tuguks is actually going to pop flash himself, and little does he know that he is going to in fact run into vreti. There's the frag. That's good now for the CTs. They've got this advantage. They've got to use it, but Flashy quick to return. And now at 4 versus 4, this really favours Nerd Rage. The CTs are completely split. Second kill from Flashy, looking for the third. Only in inches, only millimeters away. But they sent Black Poison through long. Great play coming out from the Nerd Rage, and they are, I think, for the first time in this game, about to take the lead.
Besko will shut off Joel there. Will he get the second one? No, he will not. The AWP coming in strong, and Nerd Rage secure another round on the board here. 13-12 it will be, and Kyanite, look at the money.
Oh my fucking
Space Soldiers,
god!
it is broke. Nerd Rage, on the other hand, are in a very, very good spot. They're happy with their situation right now. And what do Space Soldiers do here, Kyanite? Is this a throwaway round? Have they got to try and change up the pace? I mean, because obviously every single round from now on that they lose is just pushing the Nerd Rage team even closer to that mark, and we know how good Space Soldiers are on this map, so if they lose it, this could be very dangerous for the Turkish side. And then comes the aggressive entry pushes here from the Nerd Rage team onto the B-bomb site. He's got to help out his teammate there, because there were another 2 players in Zantares and Target pushing through lower tunnels, but 14-12 it is Nerd Rage 3 rounds away from taking just 2 in the grand final.
And we're witnessing the Nerd Rage, who didn't even think they'd get out the group stages.
Nu pierdem.
Phenomenal.
This is why we ran this tournament, to give these guys a chance to show us what they could do.
Nu vom pierde.
First line of defense at long, and Black Poison is going to try and hunt him down, and we do
fight here between the two.
Tuguks with that Molotov going to try and turn the South African alive, turn him to some peri chicken, even though that is Portuguese, and I just realised how much I messed that one up. But Zantares
nice try.
Returns a frag at long. And now it's even at 4 on 4. Space Soldiers edging more towards a B-bomb site now.
They've had actually some good success here over towards B as well, so it kind of doesn't surprise me, but you never quite know what's going to happen here. Because it looks like, Desper needed to get that kill, knocking them very, very low indeed. Only does respond though, and that's absolutely crucial. Will they find the bomb? Zantares has found Flashy though, now giving them a man advantage. 3 versus 2. Zantares only on 7 HP. Only going to try and find this day. He's going to try and spray through the smoke as they make their entrance onto the B-bomb site. The quick rotation is coming in, and the bomb will be planted. Karnak, this is a crucial retake for the Space Soldiers team. I think they stand a good chance of getting it though.
Well, with Zantares alive, anything's possible. HMP put all the way down onto only 9 points of health. And it was only him who was needed to single-handedly retake that bomb site. Great work from the Turks. They will march on. And at 14-13, you know what? I'm calling it. I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm saying this is going to overtime.
Wouldn't it be phenomenal if it did? Exactly what we wanted from the grand final. And let's have a look at the scoreboard and where things stand at the minute. HMP really standing out there in the frag department for the T side of Noroc. Tuguk's actually very quiet for Space Soldiers, and you don't always get that from him. He's usually one of their key players, in my opinion, from what we've seen so far, and only getting tagged through the door. They're down to 35 HP. The double AWP set up from Noroc here. Still 1 round away from putting themselves on map point. But Space Soldiers only 1 round away from evening things up and putting us in another tied situation.
Definitely. Tuguk's taking full control of the long area. Bomb just toying around behind double doors at mid. Meanwhile, the remainder of the CTs have got no one watching B ramp bar Desper. He's just sat inside the B bomb site with an AWP. So this was what I actually spoke about in the first half, where you can have a versatile AWPer, sometimes watching mid, sometimes watching towards B tunnels, who is in fact based in the B bomb site, something Weber does quite a lot in the UK scene. But currently right now, no frags. Hello, there's a frag. E1 onto Contra Omnia Flashy. Black Poison, headshot onto Zantares, key man down. E1 and Tuggles chime in, but Billy G goes huge. And now both him and Joel's with a great opportunity to seize the day, to make it 15-13, and to give themselves match point.
So close here, Karnak. It's just coming down to these one-on-one gunfights. 1-on-2 for E1. Are they going to find him? Billy G will, and he secures the round. I think that's the hat-trick for Billy G in that round. Yes, it is. One of the standout players for me, for Nerd Rage. And they move themselves onto map point here, Karnak. What a crazy game this has been, and we're only on the first map, of course. And look at the money for Space Soldiers. It's pretty much completely broken. But we've seen them pick up these rounds before with Deagles and pistols, so you never know. They're not out of it yet.
See, the problem is that this is Space Soldiers map pick, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is.
Holy moly. Here we go. They lost Dust 2 to Encore. Seems like they're on the verge of losing Dust 2 to Nerd Rage as well. Good frag coming in from Tuguk's. Headshot with that all-important 5-7 onto the South African in Black Poison. Meanwhile, these Nerd Rage players look to try and hit this A bomb site, hit it big and hard where it hurts the most, and that definitely hurt. Joel's Deagle kill onto only Zantares. Now it's all up to him to save the day. Fantastic 3-man spray down, and now Tuguk's and Desper 2 versus 1. They need to put Joel's to an end, and if they put him to an end, the finances will switch and Space Soldiers will be in with a phenomenal opportunity to take us to overtime.
This is so darn close. I cannot believe it, Karnak. Exactly what we wanted to see. Joel will switch out there. He's going to plant the bomb. Actually, he's going to fake it. He's in a good position, though, and he will now plant the bomb, and it looks like they're aware of it, but he doesn't know where they are. They know where he is. Desper, I think, did he spot his head? I'm not too sure. He will spot it now as they peek together. In comes the retake from the Space Soldiers. Their last opportunity to take this map. Will they get it? He's spraying and he's praying, and it will not pay off. The defuse will surely come in. He does have time, and we are still live here, kinda. I said you can't count Space Soldiers out yet, because they could do it on these ecos. And they did do it. My gosh.
I believe this is the second sort of eco/force buy that we've seen Space Soldiers win. Fortunately though, press tab and see, I think Nerd Rage won 3 rounds consecutively. No, they won 4 rounds consecutively earlier, lost one, and then won yet another, which is why they have more than enough money to buy. This is it, ladies and gents. This is essentially what it comes down to. Joel's with a great opportunity to deal damage onto Desper, and deal damage he does straight through the metal doors onto Desper, who is that player, who is the versatile AWPer holding upper tunnels and sometimes looking towards B ramp. But judging by the fact that Oni's at double doors now, I think Desper, his main focus is going to be towards a B bomb site, and if vreti can get the frag, he throws the frag grenade, and there it is! Nerd Rage now, they're the ones with the advantage. The Space Soldiers, they've huffed and puffed, but they're so close now at the last hurdle to failing.
My heart is racing so much in this situation, it truly is. That may sound weird, but this is what we wanted from a grand final, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 30. All quiet after that first frag onto Desper there. And unfortunately, we've had one player disconnect. It will be Black Poison who goes down. Only takes down HMP, but vreti will respond back onto a 3 versus 3. And what's going to happen now? The bomb is in the lower tunnels area. They need to do something relatively soon because there's 40 seconds left. Down goes Only. Will that be the last time we see him on Dust 2? We will find out, as it's Tugux and E1 against the 3 last Nerd Rage players here. Still no bomb planted yet, but they've got to go for this retake, Karnite.
All those years of experience for Tugux. This is where he's got to make it shine. vreti with the AWP. For some reason, E1 pushed that bomb site all by himself. It should have been coordinated. Both him and Tugux really should have pushed it together, and that is it. Nerd Rage beat Space Soldiers on their own territory. Nerd Rage have beat Space Soldiers.
Dă înapoi că te bat.
Expectations anyway, guys. I think we need a break after that one just to catch our breath. We're going to run a few adverts and then we'll be back in just a few minutes time. Don't go anywhere, guys. Train coming up in just a few minutes in the grand finale of the Ballistic CSGO challenge here between Space Soldiers and of course our other favorite team in Nerd Rage. What a crazy series this is. We'll be right back.
Bun, pe care că o să închid filmarea aia aici. Aparent am pierdut, nu? Cred că am pierdut, mă rog. Nu contează, sincer, chiar nu prea îmi pasă că am pierdut. Asta e. Niște iteme căcate. Dar totuși, ăștia sunt terminați rău. Terminați foarte rău. Nu uitați că, ce v-am spus, că o să fac încă un episod, să sperăm. Dacă nu se strâng minim 4 like-uri, ceea ce nu cred că e atât de greu, nu o să mai fac deloc. Toate că eu o să pun pare-uri în continuare pentru că s-a terminat rău, doar că nu o să mai filmez. Atât a fost și cu videoul ăsta. Până data viitoare vă urez numai baftă, pa!